The public has always been captivated by true crime because it provides an insight into the dark aspects of both society and human nature. Even if many crimes are eventually solved, some details are never explained, which baffles investigators and the general public. These are the top 8 unexplained aspects from true crime cases that still puzzle both authorities and enthusiasts. Number 1. What happened to the victims' heads? Hinterkaifeck was a remote farmstead in 1922, where one of the most horrifying murder mysteries in German history took place. Since the family who lived there was somewhat private, nobody noticed anything strange until their mail began to pile up at the post office. A group went to look into it and found that everyone had been killed. Before the murders, the farm suffered from strange happenings such as noises coming from the attic, missing house keys, and unexplained footprints in the snow. The fact that the murderer was obviously still on the farm several days after the killings is even more unsettling. Officials transferred the victims' heads to a clairvoyant for further examination, but they were later lost in the chaos of World War II. Number 2. Who was Joseph Augustus Zarelli? Living with at the time of his death, the entire nation was stunned by a horrifying find made on the side of a remote Philadelphia road on a chilly day in February 1957. The dead body of a boy was discovered in a cardboard box. After decades of being unidentified, the boy in the box was finally recognized as Joseph Augustus Zarelli in 2022 through genetic genealogy. His name has now been revealed, but the murder is still unsolved. Zarelli's life before his tragic demise is not well known. Officials have reason to believe he was given away or placed for adoption after he was born. If so, where did he reside, and who took care of him before he passed away? Number 3. Did he survive the jump? Just before Thanksgiving in 1971, a man named Dan Cooper bought a one-way ticket from Portland, Oregon to Seattle, Washington. He threatened to explode a bomb in midair if he didn't get $200,000. Cooper took the ransom money when it was secured in Seattle and parachuted from the plane over southwestern Washington. Many aspects of the case are still unresolved decades later. Cooper has never been recognized, and it is unknown what will happen to him and the ransom money. A considerable amount of the money is still missing, even if part of it was later found. Whether Cooper actually survived falling from the aircraft is the key question that needs to be answered right now. Number 4. How did he leave the bar without being caught on camera? In 2006, Brian Schaffer, an Ohio State University medical student, went out to celebrate the start of spring break. Before the night was finished, he became separated from his buddies and was believed to have gone home without informing them. However, he has never been seen again. Police examined the CCTV tape and discovered Schaffer and his companions entering the bar. The tape later showed his pals leaving, but there was no record of Schaffer exiting except for a brief conversation with 2 ladies. The only unmonitored way out was through a construction area, which investigators believe Schaffer couldn't have navigated at night. So how and when did Schaffer exit the bar? And more importantly, where has he gone? Next up, number 5. Why did she drive to New Hampshire? Maura Murray, a college student from Amherst, Massachusetts, has been missing for more than 2 decades. No one knows Murray's intended destination, but she was stuck on a rural road in New Hampshire after crashing her automobile. A few witnesses spotted her there, but she had already left by the time police arrived. Unresolved issues surrounding the case have led to countless headlines and dozens of ideas from amateur investigators worldwide. Why didn't Maura tell anyone that she was leaving the state? Was she going somewhere to meet someone? What happened to her on that lonesome stretch of road after she crashed her car? Number 6. Was the fire deliberately set? The Sauter family went to bed on Christmas Eve 1945, only to discover their home was on fire when they awoke a few hours later. Together with 4 of their kids, George and Jenny Sauter were able to flee the fire, but no matter how hard he tried, George could not save his other 5 children. Authorities linked the incident to faulty wiring, however. Jenny recalled hearing a tremendous crash on the roof, followed by a rolling sound, just prior to the fire starting. This prompted many to speculate if the flames had been purposefully started. Adding to the mystery, the human remains of the 5 missing youngsters were never found at the site. Was the fire caused by arson? Number 7. Why did she pack her bag and leave in the middle of the night? There was no indication of forced entry or illicit behavior the night Asha Degree vanished from her Shelby, North Carolina home. Degree seemed to have woken up, put a few things in her book bag, and ventured outside into the dark, That night was stormy, and people saw Degree strolling in the rain at the side of a rural road. Around 4 in the morning, a truck driver observed her, but Degree fled into the woods and vanished as soon as she realized she had been seen. Months later, her book bag was discovered miles away from where she was last seen. Inside was a library book Asha had not checked out and a shirt that did not belong to her. Last but not least, number 8. Who was behind the strange phone calls? Suzanne Streeter and Stacy McCall celebrated their high school graduation at a number of parties in Springfield, Missouri. That night, they were going to spend the night at Streeter's place, and the following day, they were going to the water park with friends. When the pair didn't show up the following morning, their friends went seeking for them, only to discover that McCall, Streeter, and her mother, Cheryl Levitt, had vanished. The only possible clues were a bizarre message on the answering machine and a string of obscene phone calls made to the house on the day the women were discovered missing. Sadly, the identity of this caller has never been discovered, even if it could shed light on the disappearances. Finally, these cases have captured the attention of true crime fans for years because they demonstrate that some mysteries remain unresolved despite advancements in technology and investigation methods. So, what are your thoughts about today's video? Don't forget to leave all of them in the comments section below.